you guys, thank you for listening and following along with us here at Wellness Rebranded. We want you to know that this isn't just a podcast, it's a community and a movement. We are unlearning those toxic diet culture messaging, the unhelpful societal pressures, and we're relearning a different way of caring for our health and well-being. And we want to have a two-way communication with you. So we've just created a brand new Instagram page at Wellness Rebranded. We really want you to come follow along, connect with us, talk with us, download our self-care planner while you're there, get on our email list. We have so many fun and valuable things to share with you beyond just our podcast episodes. And this is how we're going to start connecting in a deeper, more meaningful way. So please come follow along.
And let's start rebranding. Let's keep rebranding our wellness journey.
Welcome to Wellness Rebranded, the podcast where a dietitian, a personal trainer, and a mental health therapist get together to explore health and wellness from 3 different healing perspectives. I'm Elizabeth, registered dietitian and certified intuitive eating counselor.
I'm Maria, licensed mental health therapist.
And I'm Tara, personal trainer. We believe in finding ways to nourish a healthy relationship with our mind and body, eating for well-being, not weight, finding joy in moving our bodies, and embracing and understanding our emotions. We are here to help you redesign your relationship with food, fitness, and yourself.
How great would it be if you got science-based guidance from qualified professionals instead of trying out conflicting, overhyped, and unproven trends?
If that sounds as awesome to you as it does to us, join us every week as we dig into strategies to enrich and enhance our day-to-day life and health.
And let's start rebranding your wellness journey.
Hey there, Tara, you recently said something that really stuck with me during an event that we were together.
So what I said is that I firmly believe that when you are physically strong in the weight room, it allows you to be strong enough to deal with all the nonsense that life throws at you. And life is heavy sometimes, right?
Yes, insert mind blown emoji because we all loved that metaphor of, yeah, sure, you go to the weight room and you train to get strong, but it's so much bigger and more meaningful than that.
Yeah. Like, sure, it's fun to be strong, right? Like you can pick up the case of water at Sam's Club without struggling, like it has its perks, right? But the real benefit to me is that you're strong enough to deal with life. Life is freaking hard sometimes. And it takes like a strong person to be able to deal with everything that is thrown at you. So if you're a little bit more physically strong, it teaches you resilience, right? Having to lift up like heavy barbell is freaking hard. And when you do that on a regular basis, it reminds you like subconsciously that you're strong enough to do this in everyday life with everything that you're dealing with. And I just think it makes the world a better place.
And it boosts your confidence, right?
Yes.
And if you are more confident, you are going to show up differently in life.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows that connection because every time I lift those weights, I feel at the end, I feel like, okay, I did it. I brought myself, I did it. I'm capable, it's also that change in mindset that I can do hard things.
Yeah.
And I can, you can bring that not only to the weight room, but also to any other situation, like you were saying. So like it blew my mind. I'm like, hell yes, that's right. I can do that. It makes perfect sense. And it gives it a way bigger goal and purpose than, I'm just here to grow some muscles or just because I have to. So I get older slower. I don't know.
Get older slower. We actually age at the same speed.
Yeah, that would be nice.
The sun is like a thing.
You think so? No, I think some years I grow older a little faster than others.
I mean, true. As a parent, I agree with that. But
And Tara, it kind of reminds me of, I've heard you speak many times because we all do a lot of public speaking and workshops and we go into organizations and are really, what are we doing? I mean, I know what we're doing.
we're like intertwined out in the world.
Well, like we spread our message out in the community as much as we can, right?
So Tara, it reminds me of when we all go out, we speak in the community, we host and lead workshops, we go into organizations, but we work with individuals and groups in a lot of different ways. I've heard you say several times, well, I introduce myself as a personal trainer who helps people get, is it badass and confident lifting
Yep.
heavy weights?
Yep.
And then you realized somewhere along the way that, well, actually, I do a heck of a lot more than that. Tell us about some of those things.
So my elevator pitch is that I help people feel badass and confident by teaching them to lift weights, which is true. That is what I do. But there's so much more to it than that, right? Because I teach everybody to lift weights. Yes, I do believe in the like amazing powers of weight training, but I'm also helping people do other physical stuff like train for triathlons or marathons. I help a lot with the mental aspect of things like improving body image and confidence and how you show up in the world. I also help like improve your energy even. Elizabeth can probably attest to this. I see her at like 7:30 in the morning, which is pretty early for me. I was gonna say both of us, but it's not usually early for her, except for this morning.
Yeah, this morning it was early, but usually it's not that early.
But by doing your workout like that, I would imagine you have more energy throughout the day.
Yeah, I feel awesome.
So
Well,
I'm
I mean,
as awesome as you
as
can.
awesome as one can feel when your glutes are on fire.
But I feel proud of myself.
Is
Like
that why
more,
it's hot in here?
more than even the physical aspect is how I feel after I move my body and do that. I feel
Yeah.
proud of myself because it's not easy for
Yes.
me. I'm gonna be honest. I don't love it. I
Mhm.
still do it, but I feel proud and I'm like, okay, I can conquer the world because I started my day doing something big, doing something
Yeah.
good. I don't.
I've been a personal trainer for 21 years, which by the way is like a crazy stat because 80 to 90% of trainers quit in their first year on the job
Wow.
and only 6% make it to 10 years or more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like one of the weird ones that has like stuck in this forever, which means I have a lot more experience than most other trainers. But my entire career, I've always thought like, yes, I teach people how to exercise.
Mhm.
Like that is what I consider to be my job. But it's only been recently that I realized how much more goes into it than that.
Mhm.
And like, of course, there's the obvious things like, oh, someone comes to me with an injury or an illness or something, and I have to modify and work around it, right? That's part of the job too. But like the mental aspect is so much more than I ever have considered it to be.
Yeah, and I think it's also important we've been talking a lot lately about even just in terms of the podcast. It's like, yeah, this is a podcast, but actually it's a movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And especially in the nutrition field and for sure in the fitness field, what you're doing is really, really rare.
Yes, it's very controversial what I do. And let me explain that because I have a feeling most people are like, why are personal training is not controversial? So I'm a plus size personal trainer, which in and of itself, that's crazy. The fitness industry and society thinks that is like nuts. But the way my body looks has nothing to do with my knowledge and my coaching ability and how I can get other people results. So it should be a non-issue. But in the fitness industry, it is a little bit controversial. But to also say, hey, I'm here to help you move your body in a way that feels good to you. I'm going to use evidence-based techniques to help you get the results that you want without focusing on weight loss and being completely weight neutral. Also really controversial.
Yeah.
Personal trainers don't do that. We're here to help you like get snatched and, skinny, right? Like that's what society thinks of us is like these fitness Barbies that walk around helping everybody else look like that and feel like shit about themselves. But in reality, like that's not what many of us are doing. And myself in particular, like I go to the other end of that where I'm here to help you get healthy and I don't care at all how your body looks. Whether you're blonde or brunette, doesn't matter to me.
But also something I've learned from you is the part about not associating fitness with suffering,
Yes.
right? And many times
Yes.
I've said my story here when I went to a trainer and she needed to put in that hour so much stuff without even considering my own needs or individual differences, or it was like pushing and pushing and pushing because what's training should look like. And every time you said fitness can be enjoyable and can be something that you enjoy is a good message too. That is not usually the message that's there. I told you recently how in my kids' school, the PE teacher says, if you don't feel nauseous about running. After running is because you haven't been running hard enough. That's not how, what, that's not
That
okay.
infuriates me because that's a person in a position of authority teaching our children that they should feel yucky after exercise.
Exactly.
And that is not at all gonna make them want to continue exercising throughout the lifespan.
But I couldn't have had that conversation with my kid if it wasn't after I met you, if it
Yeah.
wasn't because I
Aw.
met you.
Thanks, girl.
So I've learned that, and then I apply that to my life and my conversation with my kids because it's not the message we've been hearing for years.
Yeah.
It's not the noise is loud. When
So
it comes to
Tara, I'm
that.
curious, none of us started this movement, right? I mean,
Yes.
there have been a lot of people advocating for it long before any of us maybe were even born. However, in all sorts of ways, it is gaining ground. There are more and more people recognizing the benefits of it, but you are someone who is out there talking prominently about it in many
Mhm.
different places and conferences and
Mhm.
in front of a lot of different rooms of people, and I'm curious how you feel like it's received.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I do speak at fitness conferences a couple times a year. And sometimes it's specifically about like being weight neutral or intuitive eating or whatever. And other times I speak about other topics in fitness, but there's always the concept of like weight neutral, health at any size, body positivity, like weaved throughout. And you can always see the people that have heard of this before because they sit there and they're like nodding the whole time and they're smiling. And like every now and then they'll give you like a thumbs up or like a silent clap or something. And you're just like, okay, so that's my people. And then there's like 95% of the room that is sitting there looking at me like, what?
Mhm.
And then there's like the other, 5% that are actively like frowning and like giving you the evil eye and usually asking really like disrespectful questions at the end. So it is a process, right? And my hope when I speak at things like that is that I'm just opening up people's eyes that there's another way.
Mhm.
Like I know that I'm not going to convince them that like this is the way based on one speech. I think that would be highly unusual. But if they hear me say, hey, fitness should be fun. It should feel good when we
Punishment.
end our workouts, we should feel good. It's not a punishment. And if you've got things going on in your life that make it impossible for you to exercise that day for whatever reason, that's okay. You don't need to like not eat dinner because you didn't exercise.
Mhm.
We're all humans and we have a right to move our bodies and eat how we want. And it's healthy, right?
Mhm.
Like bottom line is what we're doing here is health promoting and we're improving our mental health by not stressing about counting every calorie and tracking every exercise we do. And all these things are just adding up to like greater health. So if they get that message from me in these conferences, and then they see an Instagram post later about something similar, like we're just planting the seeds so that hopefully down the road, they might align themselves more closely with what we're doing.
And I should say, I think it's important to say that very much echoes each of our own journeys and likely many
Mhm.
other people's too, right? I mean,
Yes.
we're all born and raised in diet culture, and you don't know what you don't know until
Until you
you
know.
start learning it. And it's not usually like people hear one person say, hey, there's this whole different evidence-based, probably more effective approach to health out there that isn't centered around weight and BMI and changing your body. And that they're likely, people don't usually go, oh, okay, great, I've been looking for that and jump wholeheartedly
Yes.
in, right?
Yeah.
At first, there's usually a process of, whoa, what are those people talking about, right?
Yep.
What they must be crazy. And then it's like, oh, but I'm intrigued. And then it's really common to have one foot on both sides of the fence for a while as you gather more evidence and learn more and gather more information until you finally, maybe end up on the other side of the fence. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, change can be scary for many people. So if it means that with what you have been believing for years, now there's a different route for it, it's hard for some people sometimes to be open to doing things a different way because it means getting out of your comfort zone or not seeing the true effects that has been having in your life.
And it's also a process of unlearning. There's so
Yeah.
much to unlearn
Yes.
Mhm.
when you realize,
Mhm.
wow, that way has not been healthy for me. It has
Mhm.
not been serving me. It has not been helpful for my physical, mental, emotional, or what we like to call holistic or whole health,
Mhm.
right?
Or
Mhm.
sometimes even thinking that's what every single person is doing, and it's not true.
Yeah.
Right? When you start seeing other perspectives, it's like, oh, okay, so I don't need to follow
Yeah,
the
yeah, you're
crowd
just
or-
realizing there's more than one way to be healthy.
And just
And that's
because
okay.
something is
Yeah.
very common doesn't make it true.
Yes.
How many things are very common and a lot of people follow, and they're not beneficial, they're not based on research, but we just follow because it's easier than doing the research
Mhm.
ourselves and put the critical thinking hat on,
Yep.
right? So just follow.
And Tara, not only do you do more than just teach people how to get strong and heal injuries or all the other things you mentioned, but you're actually doing so much more out in the world as well. And there's a lot of ways for people to interact with you, to work with you, to learn from you.
Mhm.
And so share with our listeners all the ways and places they can find you and learn from you and work with you.
Yeah, so I have a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's probably the understatement of the year. So I work full-time in person as a trainer at Edgewater Fitness. If anybody is local and wants to come work with me, I would love to see you in the gym.
I can attest it is very, very fun. And also just recently, I invited a friend to join me in my training session. And she was blown away, did not stop talking about it afterwards by some of the things that I was doing in the session. And that's just, but I couldn't do that before I started working with you. And
It's my job to make you
it
look
did
good.
make me feel strong and confident. Tara
There you
made me look
go.
good.
Yeah,
There it is.
but you guys do it virtually, right?
Yes,
We
and
do.
we
So
train
you
virtually.
offer, so you offer
Yes.
sessions virtual too. So even if people are
Mhm.
not local,
Even if you're not local, I can still work with you. We do everything over FaceTime or Zoom,
And she
and
still corrects your posture gently and nicely and tells you when you're doing things wrong, and
Mhm.
True.
she can still see, and she tells you when you're doing things well too, like this morning. You were like, oh, that row looks good.
it did look good. So
That's nice.
my philosophy generally is if it looks good, I just let myself be quiet, and if it looks bad, I'll stop you and correct. But sometimes a form just looks so good, you have to like say something.
Yes.
And that was
Positive
this
rate-
morning for sure.
positive
Yeah, but I don't,
reinforcement.
as someone who has worked out with trainers in person in the past and now does it virtually with you, I don't really feel like anything is missing in the virtual experience.
Okay,
It
so
does just-
in person and virtual
In person
sessions.
and virtual. I also do online coaching. So that is completely asynchronous. And that means that I have my custom app where I will upload your workouts into the app where you can access them on your own time. And you do them, and it will send the data back to me, showing me how many sets and reps you did, how much weight you did. And then I can kind of look at that and do a check-in with you where we go, hey, what's going good? What's not going good? What should we change? What do we love? What do we hate? That kind of
Mhm.
thing.
And I know you've learned a lot about the type of person that's best for.
Yes. So that is, thank you, Elizabeth, because that is not for everyone. That is for the kind of person who already goes to the gym or likes to work out in some kind of way, but doesn't necessarily have a good plan. If you want personal training, but you're just choosing that because it's more affordable, this is not for you.
Right.
Because I'm going to charge you the money for it and give you all the information, and then you will never do it. So
That would
I
be
don't
me.
want that to be you.
That would be me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. That is a lot of people. So if that is you, it's totally fine. There's other ways I can help
Right.
you, but that's not the way. But if you're already going and you just need a little bit of guidance, that is the way. And we check and change as needed.
And you also offer, because recently you were brought to a series of events where you guided a Tabata workout party, and then you ended up with progressive relaxation, and the feedback after that was amazing.
I'm so sad. I
Yeah,
missed it.
you missed
I'm
it.
also sad you missed it.
So
And okay, and may we say that was part of your emotional fitness
Yeah.
video? Let's not gloss over that.
Maria's trying to be
We'll talk about
cryptic over here.
But what I'm saying is that you also offer that, like people could hire you like for their staff,
Yes.
for their organization as a treat. That
Mhm.
night was a treat for every person there.
Yep.
So you're able to come places and provide an experience you know,
Mhm.
for people to really get to know what moving your body is a workout in a nice environment,
Mhm.
comfortable environment, and you can even finish it up. That night was just amazing. We worked out and then she finished it up with this progressive relaxation, and it was like the best of both worlds.
Indeed, workshops are
Yeah.
always fun. And we're actually getting ready to launch a series of workshops based along the book that we wrote, Hot Mess to Hot Mom.
Mhm.
So keep your eyes peeled for that because it's coming up soon where we're going to go through each chapter and kind of like have an in-person and online component of how we can further the conversation along those things.
That's
So
great. And Tara, I don't know how much our listeners know about you outside of a workout room. There's so many things interesting about you that I've learned, you know, with time with you. But listeners, true or false? Tara has a toddler.
I think we all know the answer to that one.
I always have the easy one to
Give
start.
us 2 truths and a lie, Tara.
Two truths and a lie. Okay. I'm an excellent skier.
Like
I
snow or water.
actually both.
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah, fun fact.
That's a false. That's a lie.
I also think that's a lie, and I didn't even hear the other two. But let's hear them.
So I'm an excellent water skier and snow skier. I am a summer person at heart, and I am a reef keeper.
A what?
A reef keeper?
Reef
What's a
keeper.
reef keeper?
Does that mean you have exotic fish in your house?
What?
Yeah, kind of. So I have a saltwater aquarium, and
Oh, that's a lie. No, you don't have a
we
saltwater
have
aquarium.
corals.
Only one can be a lie, Maria. And I am
Yeah.
firmly with number 1.
So it's 2 truths and a lie.
2 truths and a lie.
Yeah, only 1 lie.
That's like 3 lies. Okay.
Well, wait, she didn't finish telling us what a reef keeper is.
Okay, so reef
She said
keepers are people who have
saltwater
saltwater aquariums. In the aquarium, you have like corals, you have shrimp, you have snails, you have crabs, you have fish, you have all sorts of stuff.
Okay, the lie is the skier.
I agree.
That is true. I'm terrible at skiing. And also, I hate it.
Because
I don't like being cold.
The shrimp and the stuff, I'm like, that's too much information to be a lie. So do you have that at home?
Yeah, we do. Yes, we
What
have a
do I
fox-faced
know?
rabbit fish. We've got a Valentini puffer and a mandarin dragonette.
And one of them whistles. That is a true thing. I've heard it.
Yes, our fox-faced rabbitfish got really weird the other day and was whistling during Elizabeth's sessions.
Well,
Yeah, like it was literally whistling. I could hear it. It was very creepy.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was totally bizarre.
Tara,
Wait. People don't know, for example, that you lived in Costa Rica.
Yes, I did that.
People don't know that you
gallo
speak.
pinto, that's one of my favorite dishes of
Oh,
all time.
Same.
I'm
I love gallo
obsessed with that.
pinto. Yes.
People don't know that you speak Spanish.
Sí, hablo español.
People don't know that your husband is from Mexico.
He's actually not.
Okay, his family is from Mexico. He speaks Spanish.
He does. But
Okay.
fun fact about Marcus, he is from Texas of Mexican
That's
descent,
true.
but he did not learn Spanish either until we were exchange students in Costa Rica.
But he
Really?
speaks Spanish
Yes.
now.
Yeah, I thought he was a native speaker.
No, his parents' Spanish is like
Okay, so
Oh.
which
Ish.
one of you speaks better Spanish?
he does.
Oh, okay.
But it's because he works in Spanish all day.
Okay.
Oh, good,
Um,
because every time I see him, I'm speaking Spanish to him, so.
Yeah, he speaks better Spanish than I do, but it's neck and neck.
Okay.
Also, I get a lot less of a hard time when I speak Spanish because people are like, oh, cute little white girl, she's trying so hard. We love this. When he speaks Spanish, it's like, yo, why do you look like you should speak Spanish, but you have an accent? Like he definitely gets
Right.
like that
Yeah.
attitude from time to time.
Yeah.
Tara, are there any other ways that people can work with you that you want them to know before we sign off today?
Yes, I have one more thing. I'm really excited about it. I am offering a comprehensive fitness assessment. So what I'm going to do is take a really complete look at all of the things that go into health-related physical fitness. So like muscular endurance, muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, even like power, force production, balance, all sorts of things. And I'm going to measure where you are in all these things so that we can come up with a really good plan on how to get yourself more fit using science. So
I think that sounds really cool. And
Yes.
I even already work with you and I want to do that just because it sounds so powerful to me to just know where you're at
yeah,
and have something to be able to compare it to.
Mhm.
it'll be really like concrete data. So you can do this and then do your workouts for 4 months, come back and remeasure, and then you'll see like, oh, this is working, or wait, what I'm doing isn't working. I need to make some
Mhm.
changes.
I think
So
that's great.
it'll really help guide you on your fitness journey.
Mhm.
That's amazing. Well, listeners, we invite you, if any of the above sounds like something you need in your life, and I assure you do need more of Tara and her fitness
I
expertise
need more of Tara.
in your life, you won't regret it, then what's the best way for them to reach you?
Instagram. Instagram is the best way to get me, but also my email and phone number in the show notes. So feel free to reach out.
And what
However,
is the Instagram? Tara de Leon Fitness.
it is,
Right.
but it has underscores in between all the words. So saying it out loud is
So click the link in the show notes.
complicated.
Tara _de_Leon.
Underscore
Fitness.
fitness.
Not hard. There you go. All right. Thank you everyone for listening. Tune out for next week for a new episode.
Tune out. Don't tune out. Tune in.
Stay tuned in, please.
Tune in for our next episode.
And don't forget, we really would like to continue the conversation with you. So come follow us over on Instagram, tag, rate, review the show, share it with a friend. But most importantly, come tell us on our @Wellness Rebranded Instagram what you want more of, or what episode you like, or really just say hi. We would love to chat with you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you want to connect with me outside of this podcast, you can find me on Instagram at coaching_therapist.
I'm Elizabeth. You can find me at Elizabeth Harris Nutrition or in my Facebook group, Health and Healing with Intuitive Eating.
And I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Tara de Leon Fitness. Guys, if you loved this episode or any of our other episodes, we would love it if you would leave us a review on Apple Podcast. It really, really helps us get the non-diet word out to the rest of the world. So please leave us a review.
Yes, thank you.